The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. As always, we like to start off today at this time.
Takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what else do we have going on? Well, for the most part, it's another one of those days of hurry up and wait. We're up 2 points. Volume is much better. We had kind of a little hiccup both in the dollar and the S&P earlier in the day, and we're a little lower, up 7 points on the NASDAQ, but I wasn't expecting much out here. In fact, I was expecting maybe lower on the day, but we really don't have much actions. Options basically say, could we close tomorrow 10 points lower or 15 points lower? We could. Could we close right here? We could. I'm just not expecting a lot of action before the close tomorrow. But you know what? We've got a ton of earnings out after the bell, and that may change everything that we have. So we're going to keep a close eye on it and see what else is going on. But, we're probably about 15 points higher than I thought we would be by expiration. There just wasn't much juice out there. We continue to see lighter volume. 1.9 billion shares is better compared to the incredibly weak volume we've had. But one thing that normally happens on options expiration, if you get big volume on Thursday, it normally means Friday is a bust. So I'm going to be looking for options to play into tomorrow's close. But there just isn't a great deal of money to be made, as we've said, unless you're probably in some stock that's going to get a short squeeze or it's got earnings that are way out of the normal. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. What are the odds that the ES tags 2,500? I don't know. We got right now, the thing is that it's what the option market makers are saying, and they're saying with the money that they're betting, that this thing either closes out around this level or down 15 points. But again, we have some blowout earnings or something, and maybe you could get there. I don't think we are, though. Let me put it this way. The option market makers are not betting anything other than we're kind of hanging around here. Now, normally what you get on Thursdays in options expiration is a little pullback. And then Friday gets back up to the highs normally on Wednesdays of those weeks. That happens about 75% of the time. That we've kind of pushed up here today makes me think we might pull back just a little bit tomorrow. Again, there's a lot of juice, or comparatively a lot of juice, compared to the last 7 or 8 trading days where we've had none, except when we've gone down very quickly. And that kind of just sets up a market where I was going through the scans, and I just did not see that much stuff out there that was either giving a good signal at the highs or a bad signal at the lows. So it really looks rather range-bound, and I don't see a lot going on out here. A few weeks ago, I said probably one of the best signals that you could get in gold would be a flattish, low volatility market where there just wasn't a lot of movement to the upside or downside. And I think we're, 23 points in the S&P higher than when I said that? I don't think anything's changing here anytime soon, and that is if we're going up, this is the kind of day where you're up 2 points. That's kind of what you're looking at. You may have 10 of these days to the upside and one day that's down 25 points. And that's kind of the way these markets are trading right now. I don't know if that's the character for the rest of the summer, but it is very interesting. As always, we like to start off the show with a little bit of history.
Just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating. And on this day, what did we have? Whoop, get back there. In 1969 at 10:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's 9:56 p.m. Central Time. Was I watching it? Was I in Hawaii? I can't remember. I was 10 years old. Anyway, American astronaut Neil Armstrong, 24,000 miles from the Earth, speaks these words to more than 1 billion people listening at home. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And stepping off the lunar landing module Eagle, Armstrong became the first human to walk on the surface of something other than Earth. And of course, I still suspect that is the biggest high water mark for anything man has ever done. It took 400,000 people and about the equivalent of about 15 or $16 billion to do it. Kind of seems like a drop in the bucket compared to what Congress spends these days, but 400,000 people, and what do you say? We may even go back to the moon here shortly. We got a lot of people with big ideas. I saw Elon Musk had a tweet out there saying that he got someone to make a underground tunnel with his boring company. He's going to make a Hyperloop underground. And all I could think of was I've seen all these tests on YouTube that show people how to just what happens if anything bad actually happens in the Hyperloop. And I don't know if I would get in there. That may be the most dangerous mode of transportation because there is no having a little problem. I don't think. I think you're either going to be dead or you're going to be alive. There's not going to be any two ways between it. They have a lot of tests where they vacuum, take the air and vacuum it all out and put a ping pong ball in it and then open it up on one side and let it just straight vacuum, nothing else, no gunpowder or anything else. And the ping pong ball goes right through a Coke can. And you go, wow, a ping pong ball, almost nothing, can go to the point where it is and goes through almost equally as fast as a bullet. One of the more bigger people to poo-poo the idea of this as a great way of transportation, basically said it was the equivalent of all the dangers in outer space matched with being shot down the barrel of. So let's see how that works out. My guess is we're going to find out that this is going to probably be the spruce goose mated with some other issues that we haven't even. It's interesting, but of course he's good for the money.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And it's the lightning capital of the world down here in Florida. We've been getting pretty regular lightning, and we've had some really bad storms, and nothing's really happened. Maybe lost power a little bit. But I got hit today. It's taken me a while, fried some drives. I'm just kind of surprised I was able to get back and running within an hour. Unfortunately, if we get hit again, I'm in real trouble because those UPSs are just sitting there smoking. Best Buy will have a big, I don't know. I'm going to have to spend some money today. Run up there and get something. Anyway, as we said, on this day in 1969, we stepped foot on the moon for the first time, and maybe in a couple of years we'll go back. We need to go back and have probably someone live there 3 or 6 months to see if you have a little bit of gravity, what happens to you. Is that a little bit of gravity as much as or as good as gravity, 100% gravity? Is 30% just like none? We don't know yet. Everybody's, we've been in microgravity up there. The question is whether you could ever get to Mars with what we know today, and I think the answer is kind of no. And we also have to figure out a way to shield everybody from radiation because it's going to be a one-way trip, and most likely humans wouldn't even make it to Mars before they died of radiation with what we have now. So anyway, what else do we have? Up a point, no big deal. Of course, we got earnings today. Some of the stuff is already out. Of course, the ones we're looking at for us as traders to really move to tomorrow's market is Microsoft, Visa, and Skyworks, and Intuitive Surgical. Those are probably going to be the ones that tell us what kind of day we're going to have tomorrow. Of course, it is options expiration. I think what they're trying to do is get out of as many positions they can today so that, they don't like, having a lot of risk out on that Friday on expiration. But right now they're setting up for a market where they hope that maybe we're down maybe 10 points. So not enough to risk a whole lot. If you're playing white lightning, we might have some very good positions for that tomorrow. There's a handful of stocks with a hell of a lot of short interest. And if we could get something going on tomorrow, that might be the play. Other than that, I don't see a lot. As I said a couple of weeks ago, that failed, or at least the counterintuitive breaking of the triangle pattern in gold continues to look good. What is gold trading out here now at? Okay, we're up at 1248. Yeah, so we're up just a little bit, but still pretty good. Saw that big move in the dollar earlier, and I think that continues to probably shake the foundation of what's going on in the market. Right now, we're at 94.08 on the dollar, and we kind of come off that low. We got under 94 on the dollar index. We're just above it, 94.09. So that was quite a move off here from about 94.90. So we continue to see a lot of action, and we'll see how the rest of this goes. Okay, we've got Tim asking whether or not we can take a look at the IBB today and see whether or not there's an entry point. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648, but we'll look at the IBB and see if there's any juice in this thing. You are up at this level where I thought that if you were going to short it, you probably would when it got back here on the 22nd of June. We're back up in that area, certainly with a lot lighter volume. We're also into a double gap. We had about we had 3.8 million shares on the IBB June 22nd. So far today, what are we at here? Today is the 20th, isn't it? Okay, so we're up here with about 1 million shares. Maybe we end up with 2 million shares. So you're going to end up with a very light volume. I don't think tomorrow is going to be the day to pull the trigger. You're in this double gap. Let's go back and look at that. This double gap came from, at least the first one came from the 6th of January this year. And then, of course, you go back to the 15th of December of 2015. So you've got the other one right there. Just a few bucks above it at 335, you've got a double gap going from the gap down on the 4th of January of 2016. And, of course, the gap up of January 23rd of 2015. So, you're probably looking at a range out here. Monday and Tuesday will be options rollover. Generally, by the end of rollover, you've neither gone up or down. If Monday's down, look for Tuesday to be up. If Monday's up, look for Tuesday to be down. And then we get right back into the market as they take all those positions off and roll new ones on for the next expiration cycle. You can have a little bit more volatility. So if you're looking for some day trades and probably the S&P moving, you probably have a much better chance on Monday and Tuesday, I think, than unless we get a big surprise in earnings than that. Of course, tomorrow we're going to have Honeywell and General Electric. But again, I don't know if you'd have to have a huge probably surprise in General Electric. And I don't think anybody's going to be surprised that their numbers are not all that good. I think there's a lot of pessimism already in those particular positions. Anyway, we're up 1 point. There's nothing. I mean, I looked last night at a lot of this stuff, and there just wasn't a great deal out here to write home about. I didn't add any new positions, although I was looking for some. So what do we have out here today? Well, Microsoft wanted to see how that one did after it's really kind of broken out over the last few days above the last high volume high, which was June 5th. He had 35 million shares. As we go through that, starting on the 17th of this month, he had 21.8 million shares, 26.4 million shares. Yesterday, 22 million shares, and today, probably going to get in that 24 million share range. You got 19.6 right now. But again, you're up against that 35 million share high of June 5th, and you're not getting a lot of push out here. Now, this one could easily come back down to the $68 level on a missed earnings call, and I don't know if there's much more than $1 to the upside in it. So these guys have been front running them ever since Netflix came out on Monday. Everybody thought, okay, throw caution to the wind. We just have to be long these stocks into earnings. And for the most part, you didn't get the movement that you had in Netflix. And you did get what I was kind of talking about Netflix, which was you get that much volume, you get that much movement, you get what's known as an exhaustion move. And that's kind of it. You get that exhaustion move, and we've basically gone sideways for 3 days. That's normally, you want to think about 3 days before doing anything, because guess what? Probably a lot of people that were short Netflix were short on margin, and they never let you out easy when you're on the wrong side of an earnings call. But 3 days sideways in Netflix tomorrow will be interesting. We'll be back after this.
David White has just announced a new online course that he'll be premiering to his subscribers the evening of July 26th, The Next Wild Wild West of Computing. Machine learning will be the biggest growth area for tech companies in the next 10 years. Make sure you're ready to capitalize on that opportunity. With over 50 types of algorithms and growing, Dave White will tell you why there are so many areas for companies to apply this to their business to both sell and consume. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to either of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and The Technology Insider, as well as get a 30-day money-back guarantee when ordering Timing the Trade charts. Don't miss out on the next Wild Wild West of computing as it premieres July 26th for all subscribers to Dave White Services. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Trading is different than investing, but the opportunity to take advantage of short-term trends is only one if you get the direction right. Direction leveraged and inverse ETFs offer bold trades on U.S. and international stocks and bonds. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always post a message in the den if you have any questions out there. But we will continue on. And what else did I look at yesterday? I wanted to think. Skyworks Solution. Anyway, we looked at Microsoft SKWS, right? Nope. It's WKS. SWKS. There we go. Skyworks Solution out after the bell today. Up a little bit, not much volume. Again, everybody's front running these into earnings. And this is where you really see these things if they whiff a big problem. We saw that with Qualcomm a bit, although we'll look at that in a minute. It's got kind of a special issue all of its own. Skyworks Solutions, of course, makes a bunch of chips in the iPhone, and their forward guidance is going to do more than move itself. It's going to move Apple tomorrow, and it's also going to move the other 11 companies that basically make parts for Skyworks Solutions. Now, Qualcomm and what else is it? Qualcomm and I guess it's, well, there's a couple of people, but mostly it's Qualcomm and Apple that got a food fight going on. Food fight! They've been suing and in the press, torturing each other. But in the end, the question is, does Apple want to ship a iPhone with Broadcom modem technology, which is not quite as fast? Qualcomm has already put that rumor out there, and of course we've heard that for, 2 or 3 weeks now. It looks to be backed up by truth. So you may be paying $1,200, which is now the target for an iPhone, or you can pay $800 or $900 for Samsung and have one that actually does have a little faster, quote, quote, 5G speed, or at least able to do it when it comes along. And that's going to be kind of the argument. The other thing is, of course, when is this going to ship? I think there have been a few analysts out there pushing Apple to ship in late September. My guess is this thing probably doesn't hit till the middle of October or even the 1st of November, which would get it out of the quarter. So what we're going to hear from Skyworks is kind of their fourth quarter roadmap, and that's going to tell us basically what Apple's doing. So it's not going to be so much the numbers and even some of the guidance that they give. It's going to be that earnings call. So look for action all the way through probably 5:30 or 6 o'clock tonight Eastern time. And we might even see that roll into tomorrow morning from what these guys say. Now, of course, Qualcomm came out. Qualcomm is one of these companies that basically made a moat around it the size of the Great Wall of China. And in doing so, they did so with patents. It is going to be incredibly tough for Apple to try to go it alone and ignore Qualcomm. Apple, in my opinion, didn't have a leg to stand on in the lawsuits. They thought that by beating up on Qualcomm, like the Chinese government did, they would be able to get a better deal. Well, Qualcomm was having none of it. They'd already been beat up by China. They said enough is enough, and they called the bluff of Apple. So we're going to see a lot about what's happened. This may have moved Apple's deliveries back an entire quarter. So Apple may be paying a huge price. Even from inside Apple a few weeks ago, they were kind of letting analysts know that whatever they have, they're not going to be up into really big production for almost 6 weeks on Apple iPhones. So whenever it ships, don't look for the big volumes actually to come for about 6 weeks into it. That may be enough to push it yet into another quarter and move a lot. So that's it. Anyway, you can give me email at path@tfnn.com if there's anything else you wanted to look at. Let's take another look at IBM. It hadn't been moving much. We talked a little bit about that with Tom O'Brien last night. Another little move out here. I'm very interested to see what Buffett does on this. Does he get back to selling Does he lay off this one for a little while and let it maybe bounce? Pretty good seller, pretty good operator, but certainly looks like this thing, if you looked at this thing as a big ABC down, it never really even bounced that much. You had about $7 in this thing, which is not enough of a retracement to even qualify. This is really still on its way down if you look at it at bigger long-term movement. You've got 3 gaps in this, but 2 of these are fairly big. I think you could get the last one or one more big gap in this, and that may be from a variety of things. You could also, I wouldn't probably be shorting this right now, as the CEO could get canned at any minute, and you could see this thing probably bounce $5 or $6, even though it probably wasn't worth it. Or I mean, it didn't really matter. Let me put it that way. So what else do we have? I wanted to look at a few other stocks. We looked at Apple. Didn't look at Amazon, although we should. Again, you know, still the strongest stock. The last high, 7.6 million shares. If you look at the June 6th high, that was 3.3 million shares, which we're kind of getting close to. But just 2.2 million shares right now. You had 3.7 on the 18th, just a few days ago, but it's still, I mean, at best, you kind of almost tied the June 6th high, but at worst, you're half the volume of the June 19th high. A lot of these things just look like they're very much out of gas. I don't know if anybody would sell them, but it certainly looks like we don't have a lot of people jumping in to buy them. So what else do we have out here? I wanted to look at a few other stocks, but see what else do we have. I haven't looked at Google for a while, so let's take a look at that. Another one up here fairly high. Today we've got 927,000 shares so far, going into 1.5 million share highs. The first one is the June 26th high, and the other one is the June 6th high, the July 26th, or excuse me, June 26th and June 6th for those 2 highs. Okay, so we've got kind of a day or a swing trade on natural gas from Tammy in the Den. You know, I'm not a big fan of shorting this. I would much rather be long this thing in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Normally, there's a fairly decent low to be had. And my guess is that going to come in at about $6.50. So, you know, I don't do a lot of screen passes. I'm looking for bigger stuff. But for a single day, you know, you're on the right track. I wouldn't go over the weekend with it. Again, I think the big trade on this is somewhere around 650 and somewhere around the 15th of August. We'll be back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And another question, what am I thinking? I think natural gas goes back to 650. But again, I think that around that 650 level, or maybe even 663 come mid-August, then you can probably look for the run up to 850. So to me, that's, you can make a little money here, but to me, the better thing is to watch and be patient for around that 650 to 630 low that comes in probably the first couple of weeks of August. Does so on very light volume and sets up the move up into the fall. 650 to 850, probably a pretty good move, and probably fairly probable on UNG. You get the energy producing utilities all signing their contracts, and if they do well, that's normally the kickoff and the run that goes for a little while, kind of fades in September or October a little bit. And then the first cold weather where you start using natural gas, you get yet another run, and that runs until about, March? And I think that's probably going to be the same pattern we see today. Maybe we see a little bit more of it, especially if we start seeing some of the natural gas put into LNG and shipped to other countries. But we'll see how that works. What else do we got? I got to look at a few other things going on here. Nice pop, nothing in there. Okay, question about the SMHs. We've come back up, and it looks like we're going to test or come close to testing this huge volume down day of the 9th of June. That came down with 9 million shares. 9. And we're up with 1.8 million shares. Yesterday, you had 3 million shares. Day before, 3.9 million shares. You're certainly getting into that big candle with not a lot of juice. And that is going to be where I don't know. But if Skyworks Solutions kind of puts the rein on this, your downside for probably a couple of days is $85 in the SMHs. If it's okay, you could probably look for the SMHs tomorrow in that right around the 89.72 level. But don't see a lot of people out here really dying to get back in from this $80.92 low. It's come up on good energy, but not great the last couple of days. You had nice volume on the 18th, but that's about it. So, again, we see a lot of these where there just isn't much. Another email in here wants me to look at the OIH. And my comments of a few weeks ago where I wasn't expecting a great deal in this market. I thought you needed to be in either highly shorted stocks that maybe pop and or commodities. You had kind of a nice move out here. But again, even in these ETFs, not a lot of juice. Last major high was July 3rd on the OIH. You did that with almost 9 million shares. Yesterday, 7.5 million shares. You went a little higher, rotated back into the trading range today on 5.5 million shares so far. Is this weak? No. But again, probably if you had your druthers now, the overhead on the on crude continues to be at about $50. As long as they continue to savage the dollar, probably the metals seem to be a little bit better place to go. That may change again come mid-August as we get ready for the fall. But I don't see a lot changing in the energy sector for the next 4 weeks. Of course, tomorrow we'll have the Baker Hughes numbers for the rig count. We were up 2 last week. That's starting to slow down. If we actually see a couple of weeks where they're down 5, we might be able to get back up to the $50 range in crude. Today, it's off a little bit. We at off 33 cents at 46.73, and Brent's off kind of the same. Nat gas is down 3 cents at $3.03. Looks like it's continuing to kind of home in somewhere around this $2.90 to $3 level. I would like it to kind of just go sideways until the middle of August for a purchase. Silver's up 3 cents today. Gold up $1.80. So not as much as you would think, but a nice move nonetheless. So let's take a look at a few other companies. We looked at IBM. I wanted to look at a few. Okay. Let's look at a few of these other companies. ISRG, after the bell tonight. They're at the highs with some decent volume yesterday. Last major high was June 22nd at 270,000 shares. We got into that yesterday in front of earnings with 488,000 shares. You got a nice doji out here today, but still with decent volume already, 345,000 shares. There is a thing that we talk about, and that is when a stock hits $900, it's probably going to 1,000. If it hits $9, it's going to 10. If it hits 90, it's going to 100. That's about 80% of the time. And this is going to be very tough for me to bet against this thing at least hitting $1,000, even for a second on the wrong way, and then rolling back down or even going higher, depending on what the earnings call is. But my guess is that you have a more than better chance of this hitting $1,000 after hours tonight. What else I had? I wanted to think of a few, but let's go ahead and we got a few here. Let's go back and look and see any. Don't see much in the way of AMAT the last few days, so let's take a look at that. It's going back into its high, same SMH patterns. It was down on 20.5 million shares on June 9th. We've gone back up in there in the last 5 days. 8 million shares, 7.6 million shares, 6.6 million shares yesterday, 9.5 million shares, and today 5.7 million shares. That's against the down day of June 9th with 20 million shares, 20.5 million shares. That's much going on. Toll wanted to see how this is doing. Again, this was another one that kind of broke out. You didn't have really a lot of volume. In fact, you were kind of short volume on its breakout. That was the May 23rd high at $39.37 on 5 million shares. So on the 7th of July, we had a pop 2.4 million shares and then 1.8 million shares. So both of those days well within 50% of the highs. And even with some of the news out here, it's kind of interesting to see Toll cannot hold these highs. Certainly didn't have any kind of volume that kind of pulled back in. And that's the typical pattern of breaking highs with no volume, even in a market that is ludicrously bullish. We're up 1 point on the S&P cash. Volume 2.1 billion shares. So we're going to be kind of quiet again today. Better than the last few days, but the volume still has been very, very wimpy for far too long. We'll be back in a minute.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White has just announced a new online course that he'll be premiering to his subscribers the evening of July 26th, The Next Wild Wild West of Computing. Machine learning will be the biggest growth area for tech companies in the next 10 years. Make sure you're ready to capitalize on that opportunity. With over 50 types of algorithms and growing, Dave White will tell you why there are so many areas for companies to apply this to their business to both sell and consume. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to either of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and The Technology Insider, as well as get a 30-day money-back guarantee when ordering Timing the Trade charts. Don't miss out on the next Wild Wild West of computing as it premieres July 26th for all subscribers to Dave White Services. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And just light and variable trading ahead of course, tomorrow's options expiration. Might have a few stocks with a lot of juice in it. But man, the option market makers continue to tighten up the moves on these. There's a handful of stocks with huge short interest. Not a lot of interest, short interest, though, in the individual stocks. A handful are getting all the love or unlove, as it would be. And normally, in past years, especially at highs, you may have had 100 stocks that had 8 or 10 days to cover. There's a very short list at this period of time, of stocks with individual stocks with high short interest. But we could see some nice pops in those. I continue to root around like a pig looking for a truffle in that area. But it's been what it is. So what else do we have? Forgot to say, if you didn't listen to the ad during the break, I will be having a webinar, a presentation on machine learning. That will be the evening of the 26th. I think everybody would be well advised to get in on the ground floor of understanding what stocks and why they will be moving in the next few years. But again, I think this is going to be for both traders, investors. We played a lot of stocks out there like Intel and Micron and others. It's going to be a new bunch, or there will be a new bunch. We're getting kind of into the end of the road of all these stocks that were supposed to be all hot because they were all social networking. I think we're going to get to the ones now that actually make everything very much more productive and give us insights that we've never had before because we haven't had tools before. As soon as I get done with this webinar, I'm going to be working on the next presentation for hopefully late August on how to use these tools and machine learning for actual trading, which I think will be very interesting. I've got some examples I've already done that show the weaknesses of traditional technical analysis and why this thing would be a quantum leap, an order of magnitude better in the near future. Although, unfortunately, now I actually looked through a lot of websites that promise to sell AI greatness and make you a billionaire in just 30 days if you just use their machine learning. And there's a giant pitfall because of some of the stuff in this. You can make it look very good, but there's some pitfalls that we'll get into on what you have to watch out for, because the old saying is figures don't lie, but liars can figure. And I've seen a great deal of, I'm going to call it borderline fraud already on what some of these folks are doing. Let's see what else is going on out here. I wanted to look at a few others. I want to look at Herbalife. Was short that last time the market went down and covered. Didn't make a whole lot of money. Made, what, $4 or something. This thing is just kind of hovering up here. Continues not to have a lot of juice either up or down. This one I think is going to get hit fairly soon. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. But probably if you're looking for big movements in the market, anything tomorrow would probably be a surprise. Next week, into options rollover. I think Wednesday next week is the next big time to get moving in this market. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.